Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm from the UK and I live in London and I study Eastern European studies.
Okay, so let's start. I will ask you first question, so you should reply.
Okay.
In which year is the United Kingdom appeared?
The UK was formed in 1801, but with the Act of Union between the Great Britain and Ireland. But Great Britain was formed in 1707 with the Acts of Union between England and Scotland. So it's kind of somewhere between 16th and 17th, 19th century.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what mainland is England located?
England is in Britain, which is in Europe.
Okay. Next question. Why did England become known as Great Britain or United Kingdom?
So Great Great Britain is England in addition with Scotland and Wales. So that's why it's Great Britain. And then and then the UK, the United Kingdom, is Great Britain with Northern Ireland.
That is why it's called United Kingdom.
Yeah. It's the addition of then Ireland with Great Britain, and then Ireland split away, and we kept Northern Ireland, annoyingly.
Okay. Next question, it's a historical question. I hope you know your history of your country. So, what was the angriest king and the best king in England?
Angriest?
Angriest.
I kind of meant that as in I took that as worst.
Okay, worst.
So worst in my mind, and probably angriest, would be Richard II. Richard the Hunchback, who's known as a murderer, basically. That's about it. To be with him, he just killed the ruling family. Then he locked the sons up in a tower, something like that. He was a bit of an arsehole, to be fair. No one likes him. There's loads of plays written about him, how awful he is. And then best king, probably Henry V, who's basically because he defeated the French. It's a very famous battle, the Battle of Agincourt in 1415, and we defeated the French. And that was the biggest amount of territory that we won in France, and then he died too soon, and we lost it all.
Okay. So, next question. Is it true that Parliament and kings hated poverty and killed many people for that status?
I don't think it's that they hated poverty, it's that they hated poor people.
Poor people, okay.
So, I think it's due to the feudal system. So you had peasants at the bottom, knights, lords, church, king. So peasants were right at the bottom, and they were owned by the people higher up. So it's just meh, their lives don't matter. So the lords would fight among themselves, and they would just kill peasants because why not?
I'm just interested why. Why?
It's still true in modern Parliament as well. If you look at the current government, they're not keen on people in poverty. I'm not saying killing them anymore, but introducing policies to make it harder for them to live and live well.
What revolutions do you know in your country?
And
how many it was?
The biggest one I can think of is the Civil War between 1642 and 51, which was the Parliament versus the King. Because the King, he he introduced, I think it was a tax, and they didn't like it, and then so they voted it down. He stormed into Parliament and said, "No, you can't do that. Go away. I hate you." And it started a war that killed half of the English population. So, and he ended up being executed. The king, King Charles II. No, first. And then we had the Puritans with Oliver Cromwell, who banned Christmas.
On Christmas. Okay, so I hear that civil revolutions, right?
Yes. Oh, and also religious as well. So Henry VIII, he created his own church, and then that meant we were constantly at war with the Catholic Church for about 400 years.
So did you count? Did you count how many?
Probably about 4 or 5 earlier, but they're not as important as the Civil War, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So around four, and one more. It's civil, right?
Yeah, one massive one, the Civil War. That's the biggest one.
Okay. What currency does England have after Brexit?
We should have the same currency, pound sterling, after Brexit. They won't change it unless the government decides to bring back our old currency of pound and shillings and all that rubbish. But we should stay with the pound.
Oh, okay. But when you were part of Unite Europe, you had euro. Euro.
No, we never
You
had
never
euro.
had just pounds every time.
It was Ireland had euro, but we just had pounds.
Okay.
But a pound is around 80 cents in the euro, so it's kind of the same price, just a different name.
Oh, okay. It's really interesting. So when you traveling around Europe, you have to change currency in euro. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't buy something.
So when we go to France, we have to use euro, or even Ireland, we have to use euro. But normally you can just use a debit card and they'll just allow it. If your bank allows you to use it abroad, you can just use a card with no extra charge because of the EU. So after Brexit, that will change. So we'll have to bring cash and that sort of thing.
Cash, okay.
But
can you say now how many rubles it cost equal 1 pound?
I'll look it up because I know it changes daily.
Okay.
How many it is?
You have time.
There we go. 80 rubles.
80 rubles. 80 rubles. Okay. How many it does oil costs now?
I presume you meant oil as in car, for putting in your car.
Yes.
Yeah. I think a litre is £1.20 per litre.
£1.20. Okay. Do you know average salary in England?
I'm not looking it up at all. No. Have a salary. Oh, there we go. About 28,000 a year.
28,000.
So.
Yes, yeah. It's too much, I think.
Yeah. The average rent in London for housing is around £1,000 a month. So half of your salary is going on rent. So.
Tell our followers what is the most important celebrations you have, and how many days off you have?
Um, the most important ones would be the religious ones, so Christmas, Easter, and then we also have Remembrance Day on the 11th of November, and we also have Guy Fawkes Night on the 5th of November. And Guy Fawkes Night is when we defeated, we captured Guy Fawkes, and he planned to blow up Parliament because it was a Catholic plot to blow up the Parliament and the MPs and everybody. So it's kind of like a Independence Day, but we never got independence from anywhere. So it's kind of like the more national day, but not really. People just have big bonfires and have fireworks. So most important would probably be any of those five. Like, there's nothing like in Russia where you have your, victory. Your big.
So you told
What
about
is it?
celebrations, but you didn't say how many days off you.
By law, you have to have 28 days off from work a year.
28.
By law, and it's paid.
Okay, 28. It's
That's the minimum. My dad, I think, gets 35 days a year.
it's almost
Um,
one month.
Yeah, an entire month off, but you can't have it all in one go. Normally, people will take maybe 1-2 weeks off at Christmas, and then a week off at Easter, and then a few others for like a summer holiday.
Okay.
A summer trip to Spain or somewhere, that kind of
Okay.
thing.
You said all celebrations it's around a month or just Christmas holidays?
Oh no! Christmas is normally a week or two.
A week or two.
So the schools will have
Okay,
2
so
weeks off.
plus another celebrations, it's approximately 28 days in the year, yes?
Yeah. So these 28 days, you can choose when you take them off.
How
So-
you can choose? How do you can choose?
Because your company is by law required to give you 28 days off, and then each individual employee can choose when they take them. Most people take them at Christmas, Easter, birthdays, that kind of thing.
Every day off it's just your choice.
Yeah. And then there's some bank holidays which everyone in the country gets off,
Oh,
which is Easter Day itself, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve.
I think it's
But
really convenient.
everyone apart from nurses and stuff. Yeah.
Whole world knows about English traditions to drink tea at 5 o'clock.
Oh
Yes.
dear.
Does it still exist?
To drink
5
what at
o'clock.
5?
Drink tea.
It's a bit late. Like it would be afternoon tea. It would be around 3 or 4. It's basically only old people and tourists do it anymore.
Oh,
Because the tradition nowadays is once you've finished work at 5 p.m. you go to the pub.
so you don't
To drink.
You don't drink tea.
I don't actually drink tea. My parents do. Well, my mum doesn't. My dad drinks tea,
At
and
5
my
o'clock
grandparents
or
drink
another
tea
time?
and stuff. Whenever
Oh,
in
no,
the
I have-
morning, it's like it's
So,
instead of coffee.
You said it doesn't exist, this tradition.
It does, but only
Oh,
old
well.
patriotic people, so it's not really a tradition anymore. No one really has the time to do it anymore.
Okay. Okay.
unfortunately.
So my last question, it's I think it's the most popular question for English people. You have many dialects in England.
Oh
So,
yes.
how do you understand each other? But you live in one country.
We don't. We don't. We don't understand each other. So for me, because I'm from the south and the
Okay.
southwest, so the southwest has its own particular way of speaking, which is closer to German than anything else. To be honest, it's a bit and a bit pirate. So if you watch Pirates of the Caribbean,
Okay.
take those accents. That's the region I come from. Anything north of Birmingham, I don't understand anything they're saying. All I hear is the. I don't. I don't understand anything that's happening. So I've got a friend that's from around Birmingham. I have to meet them for 2 days because the first day I don't understand a word. Second day I can just about understand what's
Okay.
happening. So
So you need to
so
spend some time with him, and you will understand him after that.
yeah, exactly. But that amount of time is a day, unfortunately.
Okay.
um, because it's just so hard for me to understand. All I hear is this, you know. It was as if somebody was speaking a foreign language to me.
Okay. Okay. I see.
So,
So Aaron, thank you for interview.
no problem.
Um. So bye.
Right.
Guys, you watched my new video. It was about United Kingdom. Amazing country, I think. So I hope it was useful for you and it was really interesting. Subscribe on my channel and wait for next video about another country. See you next time. Bye.